Hello everyone, bonjour to everyone, this is Sushant over here and I would be conducting your TEF session. Yes, this is a session on the examination which is very important for people to immigrate into Canada. Yes, we would be discussing on many factors and you'll be knowing everything by the end of this 15-minute or maybe 20-minute session depending upon how it goes. Yes, so you'll be knowing about the basics of French language and TEF, the exam pattern, how much time it takes to prepare for TEF, the difference between TEF and TCF, how does the scoring work for Canadian immigration. You'll also know about different methodologies to prepare for TEF, and in the end we'll discuss about industry malpractices which you should not fall into, right? So let's get started with this session right away and very quickly. This session is being conducted by French Ace. This is India's largest private French language school and it has presence in Canada, India, Scotland, and it has an office in US too. Okay, a quick online webinar. This is a recorded session for people who basically cannot join or are not or unable to join our live sessions which happen on every alternate Saturday. So it's for you guys and on a special request. Here it goes. This is a little bit about French Ace. This is an organization, a startup which is about in its 9th year of operation. This is our journey and our footprint, that where we are present, and you can see it. You can pause the video and watch it if you want to. Yes, and let's go ahead. This is about the co-founder and the founder of the organization. She is Rashmi Vora. She is the co-founder and CEO of French Ace. She also teaches French. She is a principal professor within French Ace. She is DELF A1 certified by the Ministry of Education of France. She was associated with Alliance Française earlier, and she was also an official examiner there. Okay, this is the agenda for today. That I've already told you that you would be covering everything with respect to TEF or TEF, whatever you want to call it, the examination with respect to everything. So you'll be knowing about what you need to do and what you do not need to do. So, basics of French language and TEF. French has 6 levels, and this is as per the CEFR guidelines. You start with A1, which is the beginner level. Then you have, you can call it as elementary beginner level. Some people call it intermediate level. That's A2. Then you have advanced levels, which start from B1 onwards, B1, B2, C1, C2, right? And you have TEF on the right hand side. Yes. Now, when you see TEF, it is a combination from A1 to B2, and this is the exam which checks you on all levels that what is your proficiency and skill in French language. That is why it checks you from A1 maybe till C1 also, but will not jump till that level now because that's pretty advanced and it'll take a much longer duration. It gives you more points, but we'll come back to that in maybe 2 or 3 slides down the session. Okay, so this was about TEF. Duration required. The most important question that comes in people's head or mind is that how much time it requires to prepare for TEF. So you have the answer now. This is a normal track, right? So A1 takes you 2 months, A2 takes you 2 months again, B1 3 months, B2 3 months. Very practical, it might take 4 months also. Now, if you boil this down or sum it up, it's going to be 10 months. I'll tell you how to reduce it to 6 months also. Just be with us for some more time and you'll know that. TEF is an examination, as I told you. It will check you from A1 to B2. So, it'll take you around 9 months. Okay? And we have some noise over here. Microphones, please. So, it'll take you 9 months from A1 to B2, and we're reducing 1 month over here. If you compare from left hand side, that is because you are not going to have any overlap between A1 and A2. But if you put a gap in between both of them, there is an overlap that is required in all these sessions, all these levels, sorry. So if you merge them all together without a gap, you can do it in 9 months, and that is a very, very nice shot at time. It's a very nice timeline that you have if you do it on a regular basis, on a regular class. And this timeline is keeping in mind that you have 8 students in a class and not more than that. If you are going to have 16 students in a class, you have to double up the number. 16 students, A1 will take you 4 months, right? So you can calculate and do the maths on your own. Again, back to the TEF time duration. You need 1 month of preparation for TEF. You can do it in parallel if you're good enough and you have time. You can save that month, right? So Yep, this is about the exam pattern and the difference between TEF and TCF, right? So, you have all the four modules in TEF and TCF also. What is the major difference then between TCF and TEF? The difference is, let's say reading, perfectly fine, right? Okay, let me tell you the basic difference. TEF is an examination that is conducted with a pen and a paper. You do it old school type, right? TCF is an examination which goes to the computer. It's a digital exam. So you're using computer to give the exam, not a pen and paper. You'll have a keyboard with you, right? And a screen in front of you and a mouse. So reading is almost same, right? Speaking is again almost same. You'll do good. I mean, that's fine. The issue is when you come to listening and writing. When you're doing listening, you'll not have anything to make notes. You can't scribble anything on your question paper and go back when the time is finished. You have to give your answer on the spot and make your answer in a digital exam, and you can't go back. So this is the difference between listening between TEF and TCF. Now when it comes to writing is another issue over here, as you'll have to get pretty much good and have expertise in using accents on your keyboard. So these are called accents, right? So you can see I'm circling them all over here for you. These are accents, right? And if you want to learn French, this will come along and you'll have to type it on your keyboard. And it's pretty inconvenient if you don't know where to go ahead and how to type these. So stick with TCF, not with TCF, stick with TEF, right? If it's possible, and let the TCF go away. Otherwise, you'll have some extra effort to put inside typing, and you have some risks in listening also. And you might not finish your writing exam in time, or you might have many errors inside it, right? Okay, so there is a question that pretty much comes to us with respect to TEF and TCF. What exactly is the question? This is Rashmi over here. Rashmi, what's the question?
I have a question. Are both these exams conducted on the same day?
No. So, okay, yeah. With respect to listening, and you went by saying both exams were reading, speaking, listening, writing, and listening. Because basically, you'll give reading, speaking, and writing in a single shot. They'll sit and give the exam, and then listening will happen later, right? But unlike IELTS, you don't have to go ahead and you will give the listening the same day in the second half. You'll give the exam, there'll be a short break, and you'll be given a time slot that when your listening will happen, you have to be present there, and then you can give listening. This is exactly the same how IELTS happen in the West. In India, as you have hundreds of candidates, they can't do that in the same day, so it stretches and you have 2 days. That's the reason, right?
Okay, and how long does it take to get the result?
The result, Uditi, do you know when the result, how much time it takes for the result to come?
Yeah, approximately 14 to 15 days.
14 to 15 days, there you have it. So it takes 14 to 15 days, and we have Rashmi and Uditi with us to help you with every question that comes in our head, right? So you know everything about TEF after the session. Okay, and Uditi, yes to you for exam pattern, and let them know how the exam pattern is.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So we have two exams in front of us. The first exam is TCF and the next exam is TEF. So I'll brief you about TCF first of all. TCF has all the 4 modules: your reading, listening, writing, and speaking. The reading session is of 35 minutes with 39 MCQ questions. Listening is of 60 minutes with 39 questions. The writing section is again of 60 minutes, but you need to cover up 3 topics in that. And speaking has 12 minutes to cover up, and with 3 topics on which you need to speak. Then we have an exam, the TEF exam. Again, all the 4 modules that needs to be covered: your listening, reading, speaking, and writing. The listening section is of 40 minutes, all MCQs again, 60 questions which needs to be covered. Reading section again of 60 minutes, but 50 questions. Speaking, 15 minutes, but this time you have 2 topics to cover. And writing is of 60 minutes, again with 2 topics to cover up.
Okay, there you have about the exam pattern. And in case you have any more questions, and that are not answered in this session, feel free to call us. But do go and have a full view of the full session so that you get all the information over here. Okay, jumping into one of the most important slides over here is how does the scoring work, and how will it help me in Canadian immigration. So this slide is all about that now. So on the left hand side you'll see something, there's a table over here and it says CLB level, right? So this is the table we are talking over here about. And if you can get a score between the ones that I'm marking or underlining with the red marker, then you see that's called CLB 6. And if you can get a score in between the score that's mentioned over here, you get 1 point each. So the maximum score you can get over here is just 4 points, nothing more than that, right? But if you can, and if you will, I'm sure you will, right? And if you can get something in between this little red rectangle box over here, then you get 3 points each for each section: reading, writing, listening and speaking. That sums up to 12 points, right? So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is equal to 12 points. But what is this 30 over here? These are the additional points that you get if in IELTS you have a score of 7, 7, 7, 8. That means if you have 778 in IELTS, you get 30 additional points, right? So okay, we'll come back to this. We are not covering. So if you see this 54 point over here, these 54 points are if you get CLB 9 and 10. That means that you have to slog for about an year or more than that to get these 54 points. What is achievable is level CLB 7. That is achievable, and you can get 42 points for this. For sure you can, right? You'll have to struggle a bit, work hard, and you can get it, and we'll let you know how you should go ahead, right? But coming back again, let me tell you, if your score is 450 with your regular IELTS score of 778, right, and you get CLB 7, you need to add up 42 points here. So what is your sum? Your sum is 492 points over here, right? So you get 492 points. So there's additional 42 points. This is not including the existing IELTS score that you've already added into your CRS score, right? So anything else, Diti, that we brief our students about? That I'm missing about over here?
No, all covered up.
Okay. Thank you. So we're gonna jump to the next level or next slide now. Okay, this is the methodology that we brief our students about, that how they should go ahead, and how they should look at TEF. So TEF is an exam, as I said, it covers you, or you should be prepared till level B2, right? But you're gonna start with A1, right? So how do you proceed further? Okay, if you have a very marginal or a very minor difference between your the CRS invite score and your CRS score, right? For example, the CRS score, the invite score is 500 and your score is somewhere around 495, right? So you can basically go ahead and wait and watch. Then maybe the score will dip and you will get an invite without French. Perfect. That's the best thing that happened, right? And I wish the same for you. But what if the score doesn't dip? You're just waiting and watching. Rather, what you can do is you can start with level A1. Just start with it and do the wait and watch in parallel. In case the score doesn't dip and you are done with A1, then you know that you're at least some way into the journey, right? You've done 1 out of the 4 levels and yes, the score isn't dipping. Then you can continue ahead with A2. And in case you wait for 6 months, the score doesn't dip, I can tell you that you will cover till B2 in that. We'll come to that, how you'll do that. But then you have not wasted 6 months by just waiting and watching. You have prepared for something better, and you know that you can crack and you can probably get a better score and you can get the invite, right? Now this is for people who basically have a marginal difference, very less, right? And anyway, you should always remember, French language will help you in Canada, even if the score dips and you're done with A1 or you're done with A2 and you get the invite just without the TEF examination. It's an excellent thing to happen. But what other best thing happened to you? You now know French and you'll have a job advantage. You'll have an advantage when you go to Canada, right? If you're going to Quebec, well, it's mandatory for you to do level French. You can't survive there without French, right? But if you're going to Canada, anywhere else, any other province, excellent thing you've done. You know French now. What if you have a major difference? If there's a major difference between the score, right? For example, the CRS and Y score is 500, right? And your score is somewhere around 475. I call that a major difference because there is a gap of 25 points. Apologies for my handwriting, but yes, 25 points is a lot. And if you can't cover it up with your additional education skills like a master's degree or a PhD, or you don't have any relative, or there you have exhausted all your options to increase your score, yeah, you have an option of TEF. You will start with A1, and we recommend you start with A1. Analyze whether you can proceed further and do till B2. I mean, it's up to you, up to the student to check whether you want to do it, you want to go ahead or not. So start with A1. Don't just jump for TEF. Check your skill first, whether you can do or not. Okay. Always remember, it is your effort, it is your time, and it is your money, right? So you have to be careful because you're going to invest all these three things inside it. Okay, I took a lot of time over there, and these are some industry malpractices that you need to be aware about. So always pay for the course fee and not monthly. The course might be of 2 months. If you pay for the course fee, the course will finish in 2 months. But if it's monthly, oh yes, the course can stretch to 3 or even 4 months. So you're giving something 4 months because the instructor wants to make more money, and he's making more money, and you're wasting more time. You're giving more time, right? You can give more time even if it paid for the full course fee. You know that at least when it will finish. Now, there is a misleading statement outside the market that one can prepare for TEF in under 8 months or 6 months, right? I call it misleading because they don't tell you the complete truth over here, and this is a very important line. That's why it's in red color. You can complete it in 6 months. We have extensive batch out here, and I'll tell you in the next slide about that. But you have to give about 2 hours of course study daily, right? Of your class. That's 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? And you have to give 45 minutes of your time. It's a total of 3 hours. Monday to Friday you have to give this, and then you can do it in 6 months. If you're ready for it, yes, you can do it. If you're not ready for it, you have to go with the normal track. You cannot go ahead with the extensive, and you cannot complete in 6 months. We are telling you this thing. You need to be aware about the market. If somebody is saying that yes, you'll do a daily class of 1 hour, or maybe you just have to study for 2 hours and you can crack it in 6 months, I'm sorry, you can't do that, right? It's a very upfront statement, and it's coming from us. Never pay a huge ballpark figure. If somebody is asking you for 100,000 or maybe 1 lakh rupees, if you're in India, don't give that huge money just immediately to that chap, right? Go ahead with A1. Start with A1. Give the fees for A1. Analyze the professor, analyze the language school, see whether you're going to the good school. If you have just paid for A1, you will come to know within a span of 30 days or maybe 15 days whether you have taken the right decision or not, and then you can proceed further with the next levels. Just don't pay everyone or anyone even half of the fees for the full course till B2, okay? Not taking much of your time. This is about the TEF extensive kickoff session that's going on. This is a 6 plus 1 month class because the 7th month is optional. We're not gonna, that's an exam preparation thing. But let me talk to you about 1 to 6 months, how it goes. Month 1 is your A1 extensive. We cover A1 in 1 month, and that's extensive because it's gonna be 2 hours and 15 minutes every day, Monday to Friday. Same is with A2. It's going to be completed in the 2nd month, right? B1 will take you month 3 and month 4. B2 will take you month 5 and month 6, right? The class duration remains the same for all of them. 2 hours 15 minutes Monday to Friday, right? And the fee structure over here, if you're looking, I don't know what date it is at your place. This is I don't know, you can check back with the latest fee structure online on the website. That's online.franchise.com, or whichever location you are, maybe franchise.com. You just pay for A1 extensive fees, right? That is a normal A1 extensive fees at franchise. You don't pay for everything else altogether. We want the students to go ahead and check if they can go ahead with A1 extensive or not. you'll come to know within 10 days or maybe 15 days itself that you can complete. I will say this, I can do that, but you need to go into the water to see how deep it is, right? So once you started this course, you'll come to know whether you can do it or not. If you can do it, please go ahead with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plan and complete TEF preparation in 6 months. Excellent thing for you. But if you cannot do that, right? If you analyze between month 1 that no, I cannot cope up, I have a lot of other things in my life, then French ACE has a policy that's called lifetime A1 free. That means that you can repeat A1 level any number of times that you want throughout your lifespan. You can go back to the normal A1 level and repeat it if you want. You can repeat the full course, even if you feel like that, no, I want to repeat it. Just repeat it. It's free. There's no charge for it, right? And you can go back to the normal track and complete your TEF in 10 or 11 months if you feel like doing that. So it's all up to you. This is about the TEF extensive plan. The normal track is a little cheaper because you go ahead and you basically pay your fees for that specific level, A1, A2, B1, B2, and you go ahead with that. In XD, you're going fast track, and then you have to pay monthly for 3 months. The fee structure plan is right here with you in this box. You can have a look. This might change with time as the time progresses, but yes, this is with you. And is there anything else, Uditi, that you want to share with our audience over here, or if I'm missing something?
No, I think everything is pretty much covered.
Yeah, I have a question here. So, could you please help me with one thing? How useful are these French learning apps?
Oh, excellent question to ask, and I'll say thank you. I just forgot about that. Yeah, French learning apps are absolutely fabulous. You can go ahead and learn French. If you have a lot of time, then use the apps, and I can assure you that beyond A1 level, it would be very difficult for you to go ahead and learn French via an app. And if you ask me why, because the artificial intelligence has not, at least it's not commercially available, so that you can go ahead and learn French via a computer. It's very difficult. Yes, till A1 level, if you have a lot of time, maybe 2 months, 1.5 months, 3 months, yes, you can learn on your own, and it's a good thing to have. It will improve your vocabulary. It will help you, to learn French at your own pace. But yes, at a higher level, I consider it very, very difficult. You can give it a shot. There's no problem. There is a lot of free content available that you can go ahead and complete till A1. But beyond level A1, it really becomes tough. And if you don't have a teacher with you to correct you, right? A computer will not correct you, right? It cannot until artificial intelligence is at that level, right? So if you have a teacher, your base would be very nice. And always remember, A1 and A2 are your fundamental levels. If you screw them up, you screw B1, you'll screw B2, you might not be able to clear the exam over there. So make sure that you have your fundamentals very straight and very correct, okay? There's one more thing with respect to demo classes. There are live demo classes that happen on every Sunday, right? So I would request anyone and everyone who is listening to this to go ahead and you can register for the live demo class. It's a free session. It's completely free, right? We do not charge even a cent for it. You can come and join. You can register. And I guess that is it. And on the screen over here, you are seeing the email address for French ACE and the phone number. If you have any questions, you can just drop us an email, or you can call us. That's bonjour@frenchace.com. Sorry, the North American number is not mentioned over here. Yes, this is the number. Oops. I did a blunder over there, and this is not correct. Yep, so 647-795-3464. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions, and I won't take more than that time. And thank you all for listening, and that's it. Au revoir, bye bye.
Thank you, au revoir.